One of the tightest races in our state this fall will be the 2nd Congressional District, where Congressman Joe Courtney is facing his first re-election test. Channel 3's Susan RAFF sat down with Courtney for this extensive interview.
I'm Susan RAFF, and joining me is Congressman Joe Courtney, who is now about 18 months into his first term. Thank you for joining us here on Face the State.
Great to be with you, Susan.
Must be strange. You're already not even, a little bit more into your halfway into your term, and now you're campaigning.
Well, my wife always says she doesn't want to hear me complain because I asked for it, but you're right. I mean, it's the pace in the schedule of a two-year term is pretty quick, and but I'm ready to go out there and talk to the voters and have my record held to account on Election Day.
I would have to imagine that one of the most important concerns for people all over the district, all over the state, and all over the country right now is gas prices, energy prices.
It is. Our phone's ringing off the hook everywhere I go. It's a topic of conversation. I was with fishermen in Stonington today, Chamber of Commerce breakfast yesterday. I mean, truckers, fishermen, farmers, and consumers who've got to commute to work. I mean, it's a huge concern. John Larson and I have co-sponsored legislation which is going to be aimed at what many people in the oil delivery business in Connecticut believe is a big factor here, which is the speculation by energy traders that have flooded the commodities markets with huge amounts of cash in an effort to find a safe place to get an investment outside of the stock market or the real estate market, that experts have testified to Congress has artificially driven up the price. The bill that John and I have co-sponsored basically says that if you're going to get into the trading of energy futures, that you've actually got to take delivery of the product, which would be a way of getting a lot of the Wall Street investment out of the commodities market and get people who are back in the production and distribution connected to the way prices are set. There's a number of other proposals. Senator Lieberman is also looking at institutional investors, getting them out of the commodities market. A number of bills will be up for a hearing right after we go back from the July 4th recess, and I think you're going to see a lot of press coverage about whether or not this speculative drive into the commodities markets is a big factor in terms of this volatile price market that we're seeing. Home heating oil is also, frankly, an even scarier situation right now. $4.60 in Connecticut. We have never seen prices like that. And
people are already trying to lock in now and having a difficult
dealers
time.
And I don't blame their reluctance to do it because the prices change from one day to the next so radically. One of the measures that we're looking at is an automatic trigger to release money into the LIHEAP program. Again, Connecticut has always had to go begging every year to the White House to get the funds released. We would like to see an automatic trigger for when it gets over $4. There's also talk about disaster relief for small businesses that have to deal with fuel costs and diesel so they can keep their businesses going. I really think we're going to have to put our thinking caps on as we go into this winter, particularly if it's a cold winter, to deal with these just, again, unprecedented prices.
I think there's also the concern, though, that I've heard that by more regulations, you are going to maybe push, especially with the speculation market, that you're going to push people to other countries, that's going to backfire. Do you agree with that?
There's no question that some of the trading goes on in London, and the commodities Commission, I mean, that's definitely an area that we're looking at in terms of even establishing relationships with other countries. And the good news is that the Commodities Commission and the London authorities are actually now starting to coordinate the transfer of information for swaps and trades that are taking place.
Let's focus at home here on the 2nd District. I know at the time when you won the election that Rob Simmons, with his military background, many were very concerned about how that would impact that area, especially being so military. What have you done in your 18 months that has improved the lives of people there who depend so much on those contracts?
I asked for the Armed Services Committee, Sea Power Subcommittee. We had a great year last year. We had an increase in the shipbuilding account by $588 million new dollars, the biggest increase in 15 years. Moved the Navy's construction schedule for the Virginia-class submarine up a full year. Got some advanced money in for design and engineering. 600 new jobs now have been advertised by EB, so they're hiring down there. We still have more work to do to advance that construction schedule because they just completed the New Hampshire, and there is going to be some vulnerability there to the production side of the company. So we're working with the Navy to try and get more repair and maintenance work and also have another good year in our budget. I was part of the effort that led the charge against the Air Force's decision to build the tanker aircraft in France. We had great news for Connecticut a couple days ago where the GAO overturned the Air Force decision, and now we're working to get that contract, which is a huge one, a $40 billion contract, rebid. And I believe Boeing and Pratt & Whitney are the right contractors with an American industrial base to build that plane. So, it is clear to me that this is a big part of my district. I have focused like a laser on the Armed Services Committee to get, again, a stronger shipbuilding account. We've got $20 million new dollars in for construction on the base, a new sub-learning center, new port operations center. The commander down there, Mark Ginda, is doing a lot of work to clear out some of the old buildings. So we're trying to deal with the base issues of it being sort of older and more cramped so that this state will be ready if there is another wave of base closures down the road.
Do you feel you're in a better position now to help the people in your district?
Well, certainly every day is a learning process, and I think we've done well in terms of developing some relationships with folks like Congressman Jack Murtha, the defense appropriator, who was just his huge ally of Connecticut with the shipbuilding budget that we got last year. And hopefully I've earned a little bit of confidence from the people in the district that I understand what their priorities are and that we've actually been able to produce some real results.
And you're spending a lot of time campaigning on the road these days.
I live in a car.
What kind of car? Is it an SUV?
It's a Ford, yep, very boring, modest Ford 500.
Can't drive an SUV today.
No, definitely not. So,
but you spend quite a bit of time doing that.
Absolutely. So.
Well, we thank you very much for joining us here on Face the State. Let us know how things are going. We always like to hear you and come back and see how things are going.
Thanks, Susan.
Thank
Pleasure.
you very much.
Yep.